What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bulls Deep Fishing. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're actually going to talk about kind of what I'll be doing for the 2021 season. So check it out.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah.
Today's video is going to be about what my goals are and what is my plan for the 2021 season. Obviously, everyone knows the 2020 season, or the year of 2020, was just an absolute disaster. Lack of a better term, between COVID, politics, everything getting shut down, it's just been an absolute disaster. And I'm not even going to touch on those subjects because we're just not even going to get into that. Today is December 9th, and we're less than 30 days away from a new year. And if some of y'all are like me, I am hoping that, I know it sounds crazy, but I can't wait for January 1 to basically put 2020 behind me, because it's been crazy. And so I know it's not going to necessarily work that way, but that's kind of in the way my mind thinks. Is this is all jacked up. Just hold on 1 second. It's not level. There we go. Somewhat a little bit better. But I know, just like I was just saying, I know it's not going to, January 1 hits at midnight on New Year's Eve. Boom, all this crazy 2020 years over. It's in the history books. Well, in my mind, that's the way I'm thinking, even though I know it's not going to happen that way. But I feel like, stuff is somewhat starting. It started to get a whole lot better, but then it kind of took a step back. But I believe now that we know how to operate with the step forwards and the steps back a little bit better. And so I'm hoping that, now that we can kind of put this behind us and moving forward, we know what we can and what we cannot do, or if we can push too hard or not push too hard. So, and I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but that's the way my mind is thinking now. The only thing we, as people can do now is just prepare for the worst, which I think, being Americans and being human beings, we always somewhat prepare for the worst. And so I think we're all going to be just fine. But moving on to my goals for 2021, I'm hoping for a really big year. For me, for the kayak industry, for YouTube, for social media, for all that. I just think it's going to get even better, especially for the kayak industry. That this year was hectic for them, hectic in a good way, because after everything shut down, all these retailers and all these manufacturers, they were just rushed with orders and trying to keep stuff on the shelves. And so it was, I want to say, from the knowledge I know and the people I know in the industry, that the 2020 season was crazy, but at the same time, they made some money, to say the least. And I understand, the tournament scene kind of dropped down a little bit and all aspects of that, but for the sole factor of manufacturing and actually selling items, selling products for the industry, it skyrocketed, because whenever you take away someone's work life and really life in general, and all you really have to do is to get outdoors, you're kind of forced to get outdoors, you start buying up and sitting at home bored, your Amazon or Tackle Warehouse, wherever it might be, boom, 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 add to the cart, add the cart. And that's all over the country, and, like a better term, all over the world. So, in my opinion, I feel like for the business side of the kayak industry selling products was really good in 2020. And I have a lot of people that I feel like would back me on that. But with the tournament aspect, it kind of, it took a real big hit on them, and we had to adapt and overcome in a quick manner to be able to still make something out of 2020. And I feel like, between Hobie, Bass, and KBF and all these, small tournament trails or local trails, they actually came together as a family, which the kayak industry is already somewhat of a family. I feel like they all kind of came together and made it all work for the end user, which is us, the people who was actually wanting to stay normal and fish these tournaments. So all in all, I feel like for the industry, 2020 was a great year. I know a lot of people had hardships, but in my opinion, it was a great year. But there is going to be a lot of changes for 2021 for me. I'm kind of taking a step in a new direction. Yes, I will be switching boats, and I'll get into that in a minute. Well, you know what? We'll get into it. I will be switching to Crescent Kayaks. Fun fact, whenever I first started getting into kayak fishing hot and heavy, I was in actually a Crescent Splash 2. And loved the boat, but then, everything else came along and, switched here, switched there. But I feel like what they're doing at Crescent Kayaks is going to be huge in the years to come, and I want to be a part of them. I believe in what they're doing. I believe in the product. I've been in the product and absolutely love it. And I feel like, it can only get better from here. And it's kind of a different over there at Crescent is they have a different mindset. Yeah, they've brought Drew into it, but Drew is, he is stone cold kind of old school because, he gets into skinny water. And he's paddling versus pedaling. He's doing these things to, because he feels like the way it all started is still a part of him, which in my opinion is too, that, not necessarily back to the basics, but adding some new spin to the basics. Let's put it that way. Adding new things to the basics. And I feel like what they're doing is going to be huge. Between Drew, James, and Scott, and everybody over at Crescent, I feel like it's going to be a phenomenal year for them in the years to come. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of them. And not only that, they are local to here in Georgia. Their headquarters is in Carrollton, Georgia. And I like being part of a local company, and so that's just another positive for me to go that way. So yes, for the 2021 season, I will be in a Crescent light tackle, and it's gonna be pretty sweet to say the least. I'm super excited, super stoked. But on that same note is I'm going to be bringing a lot of content for the mindset around Crescent Kayaks, for what all you can do with the Crescent, where all it can go, all the capabilities of it, all the universal applications you can do with the Crescent. That's kind of what I'm going to bring to you, and not only what all you can add to it, but on a budget, what you can do to better enhance your fishing this way or better enhance your paddling this way. I'm going to be actually, bringing content for that. So that's really going to be a lot of fun for me. It's not going to take a lot of time on me. Yes, I will be producing more content, but it's more in the lack of a basic content. Not necessarily, adding all these add-ins to the video, but at the same time, you're kind of taking a step back, going back to the basics, and really diving into the basics and showing what actually, at bare bones, what all this boat can do. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've been talking to them already, and I think this year is going to be huge for the content for Crescent, and I'm just glad to be a part of that. Okay, moving into, besides me switching a boat, I had to go ahead and knock that out because obviously I'm repping Crescent hardcore in this puppy. So you know what? We're just going to go with it. By the way, their new merch is phenomenal. So if you haven't checked out the new merch, definitely go get it. It just dropped not last Friday, the Friday before, so 2 weeks ago. So definitely go check them out. CrescentKayaks.com, push your order in. As when I checked it earlier this week, they still had stock of a lot of stuff, but that stuff's flying off the shelf. So definitely head on over to Crescent Kayaks, get some of that new merch. The material these shirts and these hoodies and these hats are made out of is lightweight, is comfortable, and especially for this time of year, it is warm. So I I'm glad to have my hands on the merch, but that's just a little plug there. But moving on, so there in a nutshell, I'm switching into a crescent light tackle. I am also switching into more of the basic content creation versus the more high depth, content. I think I just said concentration, but I meant content, more the basic content in kayak fishing, and then between switching boats, doing the type of content I'm going to be creating, I will be taking a step away from my local tournaments that I usually fish here in Georgia. Now, obviously, if something is physically local to me, like in my town or within, a few minutes of driving, I will fish those local tournaments that have, say, the Chesty River, the Chattahoochee River, Lanier, all that jazz. I will fish those tournaments, but I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I haven't really had the guts to do it yet, and I feel like, I've gained a little bit of guts. I would say something else, but I'm not going to, keeping it kind of G-rated. But I've kind of grown. Let's just say I've grown up here to take that step forward. This has nothing to do with my win that I had on Lanier. Yes, it was a huge confidence boost for me to finally win get first place and potentially, piggyback that on second day. But yeah, that helped me boost up my confidence to be able to fish with the bigger guys. But I'm going to be taking a step forward and only fishing the Bass Series, the BASS Series, the Hobie Series, and the KBS Trail Series. So I'm kind of taking a step. In my eyes, it's more of a step up than nothing against local tournaments. There is a lot of good hammers that only fish local tournaments, but the way I'm wanting to go in this industry, that is the only way for me to do it on top of my content creation. So that's kind of my goal. I'll put together my yearly schedule. Obviously, I can't hit every single tournament with each of those series, but I'm going to get a good taste of each series and do a lot more traveling versus just kind of staying local. And then on top of another thing on top of traveling, on top of my win from the KBF Lanier Series, I qualified for the Tinvitational, and I also qualified for the KBF National Championship. So the Tinvitational is actually in January, which I'm hoping and praying I can knock some stuff off my list and be able to still get down there to the Kissimmee Chains. I call it Disney or Orlando. That's one place I've always wanted to fish, so it's more of a bucket list trip than it is more of a focusing on the tournament, which obviously this fly is driving me crazy. I'm sorry if you see me moving my eyes around. But I've always wanted to fish the Kissimmee Chains, and I've always wanted to fish in Orlando or at Disney, whatever you want to call it. And I'm actually going to try to make it a family trip out of it. So that's going to be really interesting. I'm hoping everything lines up where I'll still be able to do that. I think it's going to, but, that's the only one that's kind of up in the air. But I really want to actually go fish it and, put in my best luck and fish hard and hopefully get in that spot to get in that 10 house. But, it could be anyone's day down there. So, I'm hoping for the best, but, logically, I don't think it's going to happen. But, you never know what's going to happen. I didn't think I was going to win Lanier, but I ended up coming out on top. So, and then also I qualified, winning that Lanier tournament, I qualified for the KBF National Championship, which is going to be in fall this year, I believe, and it's going to be in Shreveport, Louisiana. And that is probably the farthest I will be traveling this year. I don't know yet. I know there's still, Bass hasn't released their schedule yet, but that's probably going to be the farthest I travel, that far. So I'm kind of nervous about it, but, my goal was to get that ticket to the National Championship, and I'm not going to lose it now because I'm not promised tomorrow. I can't say, okay, well, I'm not going to fish it this year. I'm just going to fish hard and get my ticket to the next one. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go, buckle up and ride it out and, get my butt down to Shreveport and put my name in the hat. I've always wanted to be a part of it, so I'm not going to miss my opportunity now. But what's cool with that is the way I'm going with my 2021 season is I'm going to be doing more traveling, so there are going to be, on top of the basic kayak content that I'm going to be creating for Crescent Kayaks, I will, and I say for Crescent Kayaks, I'm not saying I'm working with Crescent Kayaks. Obviously, I would love for that to happen, and maybe it will, but I'm basically when I say content for Crescent Kites, I'm saying content for the boats that Crescent provides to the industry, what they're working on, and also, the boat that I'll be fishing in, which is a Crescent light tackle. So don't be pointing no fingers or, oh, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. No. Okay, that's the way I'm portraying it, is because I'm using their products. So I'm getting back to the basics, creating content for Crescent Kites for the brand, not necessarily for, okay, I'm their social media guy or I'm their content creator. No, nothing like that. Hopefully one day that happens, but I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens. And then on top of that, going back to what I was saying is I'll be doing more of travel blogs for those bigger tournaments, because I feel like that is something that is missing in the industry right now, is you have these big hammers that are traveling and going to these tournaments, camping out for days on end, sleeping out of their trucks and partnering up with people to get Airbnbs. And I feel like, that is something that would be really, I know it's interesting for me to see, for instance, Drew Gregory going to fish a tournament and doing his travel blog, or, Fluke Master 2. I want to say it was the Gunnersville tournament. I think he camped out at that one. And I thought that video was very interesting to see the travel vlog. And not only that, what really goes into fishing a tournament that is not 30, 45 minutes from your home, that you can stay in your own house. So I find that stuff very, very interesting. So that's one thing I am going to do. And not only that, guys, the word on the streeters, the talk around the kayak industry is, this kayak industry is growing minute by minute, day by day. And I feel like, to be able to get to that point in the kayak industry, but to be able to do this, fish professionally in the kayak industry, is a lot of these big time sponsors want to see what all it takes to get into the industry. So I challenge all the big hammers out there, and I'm not saying I'm a hammer, I challenge everyone that's traveling and fishing to do travel vlogs, do, vlogs on your travels and on your tournaments, and what's going on in the tournament, because I feel like that's what the sponsors are going to need. That, wow, there's actually something more interesting than just being in a little plastic boat, but going to the distances in a kayak and crossing obstacles that, your traditional bass boat tournament angler is not going to come across. So, and I feel like that's going to be like, okay, there's something here. We all know there's something there. We just got to show it to them, guys. So I challenge each and every one of you that are fishing the big, or even if it's just your local tournament, video yourself, vlog yourself traveling these tournaments, during the tournament, looking at what all the kayak angler goes through on a tournament day versus running 100 mile an hour down the lake. So something to think about, guys. We're trying to get this thing. We keep saying we won't, but we got to prove that it's there. And at the end of the day, if you get to that point, it's a business at that point. So they need something that's going to be profitable to bring, like, yeah, okay, there is something here, but can it be profitable? Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people watching, Joe Blow in a plastic boat going all the way up, 40 miles up into a river to catch a 22-inch bass, but he's got to cross over 40 shoals, 40 trees falling down, and so I feel like that's something that they need to see to be able to, push that money our way, to be able to get to that point that we're all wanting for, to be able to quit our day job that I'm currently doing right now, and do this thing full time for a living, guys. But and so that leads me into my next thing, is another thing, and I did it in 2020, which that was kind of, again, we can just write that year off, but I really want to grow my brand, which is Bulls Deep Fishing. I want to grow, my social media platforms, my channels, and all that. So that's definitely something I'm going to take over. I think that's everyone's goal and to me, I say it's a brand, but it's a brand I created, and that's me. And I want to grow myself more and more each and every year. So that's another thing I'm going to be focusing on for the 2021 season, is to grow my image in the industry, and, like, I better turn my brand industry. But not only that, I believe so much in the products I use and the brands I currently use, that I feel like they need to have more publicity or that was terrible. Oh my God. I don't know if anyone caught that, but I was trying to say publicity. Oh, I can't even say it now. Let's just write that one off. Scratch that. I feel like those brands, they deserve some showing too, because they support me, each and every day, and I want to give back to them. So I will obviously be, plugging for my brands that I support and that I use. And then last but not least, for the 2021 season, I will be working more closer with my current retailers. I will be, doing a lot more, hopefully, with Westbrook. Really trying to bring people more into that shop. But I'm also going to be focusing on, too, not only for Westbrook, but I'm going to be traveling and trying to get to as many expos as possible, no matter if it's the Bassmaster Classic, the ICAST, if we even have it again, the Paddle Sports Retailer Expo, and actually get into those expos, walk around, show really what's going on in the kayak industry, and also give back to the companies that support me by working those booths. And I want to carry y'all along with that, like a day at ICAST, working a booth at a day at ICAST. I would love to see that from someone's video. And so that's kind of another thing I'm going to be doing, is try to get to work as many as these expos and actually get to go to as many as these expos, and not necessarily work them, but actually go see them and get into them and really show the world what's the backbone to kayak industry and the fishing industry and outdoor industry alone are these expos. This is where it's happening. This is where the business is taking place. This is where the deals are getting cut. So, and that's something I want to show to you, because to me that's interesting. Okay, well, how did you get to there? How did you get this boat in the shop? Or really the backbone to the behind the scenes of the deals being made. And that's something, if possible, I would like to show to y'all too, because to me that's very, very interesting. I have been pounding myself, well, how do these guys get to this, or how do they cut these deals? And I kind of want to, I want to get my feet wet. I want to learn how they're doing it. And so that's another reason why I'm going to be working on these expos, not only to give back to the brands that are supporting me, but also be able to learn the business side of the industry. That's what I was looking for this whole time. I want to get in these expos, work these expos, and learn the business side of the industry. Because it's not just, let's go fishing. There's a lot more that goes into that for these guys. And, there's a lot more that, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into this stuff to, be able to do this for a living. And I want to be able to see that and show that to y'all. So definitely a lot of interesting stuff coming in. I'm coming up on like 22 minutes video, and I know y'all hate long videos. But that's kind of my goals and my goals and what I'm going to be doing for the 2021 season. I feel like it's going to be a great season. I feel like there's going to be a lot more people into the industry in the 2021 season, because during their downtime in the 2020 season, they were able to really dive into the industry and really understand how amazing the kayak industry is and the kayak fishing industry. There's people that in 2020 that were able, like, well, I'm not working, so let's learn something else. So let's learn kayak fishing. They learned it. They fell in love with it. So their faces are going to be out in the industry next year. So I feel like 2021 is going to be, we kind of had to take a reset for 2020. But I feel like, coming into 2021, a lot of things have been ironed out. A lot of things have been worked out. A lot of tournament trails not stacking on top of each other. They've actually taken the time to, plan it out ahead of time, comparing everybody else's schedules. So I feel like it's going to be really, 2021 is going to be huge for the industry. And I'm just thrilled to be able to wake up the next day and be able to do what I love to do, and that's being in the kayak industry. So I feel it's going to be I feel like, I'm not putting my bet on it. I'm not at a blackjack table, but I feel like 2021 is going to be the year that, okay, a lot more eyes are getting open and a lot more stuff is getting shown, and for the better. So I'm really interested to see what 2021 holds. So guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I'm going to get off here, but I hope y'all like, kind of the way I'm moving towards for the 2021 season, or I call it a season, but the year 2021. And if you want to see something or you want me to do something during the 2021 season, definitely drop a comment in the comment section below, or go over to my social media platforms and send me a message through there, because getting messages through YouTube is really confusing to me, maybe because I don't fully understand it. So I would really appreciate that if you do want to ask me a question and it's more, not necessarily private, but send me a message through my Facebook or my Instagram, because not only I see that constantly, I like minute by minute updates. It's just a whole lot easier for me to be able to answer you in a timely manner. So, but yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, guys. And guys, if y'all haven't already, go on over to Bulls Deep Fishing on Instagram and Bulls Deep Fishing on Facebook and give me a follow and a like there, because that's where a lot of my stuff is happening. That's where I'm posting my day-to-day operations, my day-to-day pictures, my day-to-day videos. They're going to there first. So if you really, like my channel and like the content I'm creating, going over to those pages, because that's where you're seeing the minute-by-minute stuff and the everyday, operations. So, I would greatly appreciate that, guys. So thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all like, what you're seeing and what I'll be doing for the 2021 season. I can't be more thrilled to be in a different boat and kind of take a different route this year. I think it's going to fit me a whole lot better. I think it's going to be able for me to create more content for you. So I feel like it's going to be really, really good, guys. So thank y'all so much for watching. Stay classy, stay tuned. I got some good stuff coming your way, guys. Deuces!